A couple weeks ago, some traded me this rock for my computer and my camera. The worst part is, the rock came through the window first. Now I could spend a fortune to get the window fixed, or do it myself. I bet I can do it for under 50 bucks. Watch me. Normally when you're taking a door apart, you'll want to use these. They're trim separators. There's a lot of clips and plugs and weird little connectors in the inside of the door. These make doing the job a lot easier. This is such a simple truck that we can use a screwdriver, and because we can, we're going to. We're going to start with this piece of trim. It's easy enough. You just slide the screwdriver behind it, give it a little bit of English, and it'll pop right off. Set that aside. Now I can move to this other piece of trim here. Same deal. Slide the screwdriver in behind, and it'll come right off. What this has done is exposed a couple of screws. There's one here and one here. So we're going to use our Phillips screwdriver now. Take those out. Bear in mind, whenever you do a job like this, you want to have a good place to keep all these little bits and pieces, otherwise you're going to lose them, guaranteed. So I've got a magnetic cup here on the truck that I'm going to use. Keeps everything in a nice safe place. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our Torx screwdriver, and on this truck there's actually a bolt hidden right back here with a Torx head on it. So we're going to grab that standard screwdriver again, pop the cover off, and that rotates to the side. So this is our Torx screwdriver. This fancy bit on the end is used for making assembly a lot easier. They're using a lot of different things these days though. So that's what's hidden back here in our crank handle. So now we're going to take the handle off, just kind of thread that in there. And it's loose, so you can pull that right off. I'm going to put this cover back on so I don't lose that piece. Stash it right there. So now we can pull this whole big piece right off. So you just grab here and at the map pocket, straight up. Just like that, the whole inner door is off. So this is the air and vapor barrier. It's basically in place to keep the insides in and the outsides out, keeps the air from passing through the door handle and keeps vapor from fouling the inside of the handle. So the adhesive on this one's sort of worn down. We'll use some duct tape or something when we put it back on. But for right now, we'll just pull it out of the way and get to where we're working. Since it's a manual crank window, we have the luxury of being able to raise and lower it with the truck off. We're going to use this handle to lower the window regulator to a level where we can get to the nuts that are holding the broken pieces of the window on. There's a little access window here and a good working area here. So with those exposed, we'll pull the handle back off and grab our ratchet and take these pieces off. Because of the in question who broke my window, there is glass everywhere in the inside of this truck. You'll probably be vacuuming glass out forever. I'm going to try to start vacuuming most of it out today. So you want to start in the door. You'll have to move to the interior, get all of the floor, behind the seats. It's going to be everywhere. This will take some time, so get to it. So now we've got everything taken off that we need to take off that was broken, and we're going to start moving on to fixing it. We got this new piece of glass here. In order to get that in easier, we're going to take this piece of rubber off, and this is just pushed in. So we're going to peel that off just like that. And we're also going to take this bolt out. This holds the bottom side of the window track on. With this released, the track will flop around. It'll make sliding the piece of glass into the front and rear tracks a lot easier. So since this replacement piece of glass is tempered, if you overstress it, it can shatter in your hand. So I've put my gloves on, I'm putting some safety glasses on. We'll try not to get hurt here. this is a new piece of glass. I priced out new pieces of glass from the dealership. They're about 160 bucks. I went to the junkyard, got this one for 18. So when we're sliding this one in, you want to be careful not to tax the glass too much. I'm going to slide it in gently. Take your time. Last thing you want to do at this point is break it. So be careful. Once you get it past these two bolts on this piece of glass, slide it in. Make sure you've got a good handhold on it or else it'll fall into the bottom of the door. Now your job is to seat the glass in the front and rear tracks here and here. Now this bottom one is angled in such a way that I want to catch the nose here and the heel of the glass here. So we've managed to catch the rear track, and I think if I rotate this piece of glass just so, I can catch the front track as well. The only way to test that is to pull the glass all the way up, see if it fits. You can also push from the bottom. Be very careful not to drop it at this point, otherwise you're probably going to break it. So it seems to be riding pretty well in the front and rear tracks. We're going to bolt it into the regulator now, so be sure to have a good grip on it. Grab the window crank and bring it up to the operating position where you can see the holes here in this little service window. Now I can lower the window and slide both bolts right into the holes here, just like that. Keep a firm grip on it. You don't want it falling at this point, so you'll grab nuts and run those down finger tight on at least one of them. Grab my socket extension and do it on the other side. So we'll tighten this one down, grab the socket, get this thing squared away. Just tight enough on this one. Don't want to over tighten it, just enough to hold it in place. So then we can tighten up the track here at the bottom. Just line up the hole, grab the bolt. Again, finger start it and run it down with your socket. Tighten that up. All right, now I can start putting the door back together, starting with this piece, which I almost always forget. So we'll slide that one in. It's got a little cutout up front that matches the front piece of trim. It just slots right in up front, and you just work it in all the way down the channel. So we've got everything bolted down on the inside of the door. We're going to start putting the rest of it together, starting with this vapor barrier. Just stick it back in place. If it isn't sticking for you, you can use some glue, but this one seems to be doing the job for now. So we'll grab the inner door now. This one, kind of a hooking system. So you want to make sure, hold it up against the door. I have to put my finger back in here and grab the door lock plunger, push it on, and this just slides right into place. Now I can grab my two screws and my Phillips screwdriver. Put these in place. And two. Now I'm going to throw my window crank back on, grab my Torx screwdriver again. Should be able to line that up pretty easily. Just crank that down. Snap the cover back in place. And we'll put this piece of trim in. This one, you gotta pull the door handle first, and it snaps in place, just like that. Final piece before we're all done, this little piece of trim here on the back. It's got these clips on it, so it just snaps right in place. All right, the only thing left is to test it. Just roll the window up. Seems to work just fine. That was an easy job. Got it done in less than half an hour, and we saved a bunch of money. I even beat my original estimate of 50 bucks, only $20 to fix this window. I'd say that's a good job. If you have any questions about this job, leave them in the comments section. We might be able to answer them in a video chat session.